Seven down. Here we go. Week 8. It's time to dive into the waiver wire. Here I am. It's Brian on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, here with Too Much Fantasy Football, and we are walking the wire. Yo! What's happening, everybody? We're back with another episode of Too Much Fantasy Football. I'm here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. We're live. We're everywhere. We are ready to break down some waiver wire talk, whether it be trade, your random questions, or we just need a reaction. Maybe it got a little wild for you this week, and we have to talk about it. We had a lot go down and too many bye weeks. It's the bye freaking apocalypse happening, and yeah, we've got to navigate through it. So, got any questions, load them up in the chat. I'm here for you for the next hour. We'll be going over anything and everything fantasy football. Or, you know, Halloween's coming up. We want to talk some candy act. No, probably not. It's all fantasy football. Here we go. Let's dive into it. The waiver wire. Diving away. Folks, how'd you guys do? Did you manage to get through week 7? I know I didn't. I lost so many more games this week than I did before. So this one was a rough one. Got a couple people jumping in the chat already. My guy Mathiasen, how you doing, buddy? Not the only guy I have Chase. He had Ooh, yeah, Stafford. Look at that. Dude barely throwing 150 yards and dropping 5 tutties on us over internationally. That was a trip, that's for damn sure. It was a great one, though. Happy to have it happen. We got Rip DT coming in here. What's up, dude? How we doing? Glad you're in here. Appreciate you jumping in the chat. Jason, loading up with questions as always. What's happening, man? Should I drop Ayuk, Fanning, got Tyler Warren, and Ayo Manor for Tez, Spears, Monungai, Brashard Smith? Yeah, I drop Ayuk at this point. It seems pretty daunting, every word that we've heard from the GM. None of it sounds promising. I imagine Ayuk's still going to be there for a bit. Even if he comes back, it usually takes up to 4 weeks for those guys really to get up to standard as far as what we look for fantasy. So I'm willing to move on from him. You got Tyler Warren. You don't have to play the Fanning game if you don't have to. And I'm dropping Ayo Manor. Most of my leagues, I mean, a couple of my chopped leagues, I was playing them, but it's ugly. It ain't pretty out there. And Tez, yeah, willing to pick him up. Really like Monungai, picking up him and Brashard Smith. Come on, we're looking for that second coming of Jerick McKinnon this year. He's getting more and more involved. I really like the idea of that. Should I drop Nick Chubb, Cup for Tez, Mooney, Coleman, and Monungai, Brashard Smith? I think we're at that point. Cup is an amazing blocker, so he's out there constantly, but it's not him, man. It's JSN. JSN is absolutely crushing it for us. Number 1 wide receiver through the first 7 weeks of fantasy. He's been money. At this point, yeah, Tez Walker's going to be involved in an offense. It looks like it's going to be more him than Cameron Johnson. God, I can't get that right. But yeah, Mooney too. As annoying as he is for Drake London owners, Mooney's out there. Quite a bit. Seems like Penix has a little bit of that Goff situation going, kind of like a home away. You know kind of when to play him, but Darnell Mooney is heavily involved. So there's 12-team leagues. I definitely want him. Monungai, he does need to be owned, as we saw kind of DeAndre Swift a little hampered going into this game. We saw him do cleanup duty there at the end. So definitely an add. And Brashard Smith, I don't know how often we're going to be plugging him in. I think we're getting close to the point where we're going to be flexing him, but he is a player I want to own. It's so bad out there Kareem Hunt was a little banged up in this last one. Pacheco inconsistent. I think if we get any consistency from that KC backfield, Brashard Smith feels like the one that's going to do it. Thiasen showing off to all of us. I won 98% of my leagues. How you get that number? You playing 50 leagues, man? That's crazy. No, it was a rough one for me. So I'm glad somebody made it through. And of course, your boy Addison looking great. 6 of the last 11 games, he's outscored Justin Jefferson, the ones that they played. Interesting stuff. Elite dynasty questions, bring them at me. Come on, we do everything here. Whether it be, best ball, we're not quite making those, but yeah, give me best ball or give me dynasty, give me redraft, anything you have it. If I can't get the answer, I'm sure we got some sharp people in this chat usually, so we can find you some help either way. Jason, should I drop Mixon? Yes. Evans. If you can't put him on IR, you might have to. Henry, I wouldn't drop Henry. Oh, wait. Hunter Henry. Yeah, I'd drop Hunter Henry for sure. For Tracy, Monungai, Brashard Smith. Yeah, this is the time of the season where we're starting to roll into, you want a lot of backups. You want a lot of those backup running backs on your bench. Wide receivers, I really don't have a whole lot on my benches as far as those like streaming options, just because if you're not going to play them, why hold them? Hold on to those lottery tickets. Marcus Mariota seems to be one of those lottery tickets right now, as Jaden Daniels is injured yet again. So yeah, Mixon, I've got really no interest. Even if he comes back and he is healthy, it doesn't look great. That offense is putrid. They cannot figure it out. I really was excited for Nick Caley coming into it. Just another one of those disciples from Sean McVay, but not this year. Not this year. So yeah, I'd be dropping him. Hunter Henry, he's a streamer. You don't have to hold on to him. I'd probably rank it Tez, Monungai, Smith, Tracy. Tracy will be involved, but we know who the motor is on that team. It's Scatabo. They're going to feature him. Tracy will be in there a little bit, but I think your higher upside might be with Monungai and Brashard Smith. Just those offenses being a little bit better run, better offensive lines as well. Luckily, I won Rice, Addison, Rashard. We got Panthers D, Gibbs. Dude, Panthers D was a sneaky good play. Anybody who was able to play them against Justin Fields, absolutely, they turned out pretty well. So I liked that one. Gibbs, and then MVP Gadsden. Dude, Gadsden turning it up for the second week. Love me a good athletic tight end. Somebody who's got some juice, somebody who's got some yak ability, and this kid's got it. Little worried about the consistency with him moving forward. We're already struggling picking between those three wide receivers, so now you add in that tight end in the mix, but you don't have one of the studs. I think this is one of the guys that you can kind of lean on. Chase and Stafford. Oh, man, they put up some points. Yeah, I definitely played Jamar Chase in way too many of my leagues this week. I didn't have to play Darnold. That's crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Not Dallas. Traded Wandale for Woody Marks. Is that crazy? I have Genty, Gibbs, Sharp all on bye, so all my RB slots have... No, I don't think it's crazy. Wandale Robinson. I mean, right now we're seeing Jackson Dart favor the tight end, if anything. Wandale, I think he's going to have some like wide receiver 3-ish plays each week, but with the way running backs have been, I like to play with Woody Marks. We saw him getting he found pay dirt last night. So going forward, I think he's going to be more of a flex play. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be a locked in and loaded each and every week. Like, he won't command the whole backfield. It's not going to be just him, but he does get the passing work, so I think that's a little bit better there. I don't mind the trade. I like it. Nice job. Smitty, what's happening? My wide receivers are Nico. Yeah, I get that feeling. Rice, DK, Jennings. RBs are Hall, White, Monty, and Henderson. Who would you rather trade for Jalen Warren, Scatabo, or Saquon? I mean, I like all three of those guys. Jalen Warren, we got to see a lot more out of him this past week. Scatabo, I don't know if you're going to get him from him. Like, I think that just the hype is so real on this guy right now. I don't know who's willing to sell him. If you can, I don't mind the pickup. And then Saquon. Dude, I saw somebody post. Let me see if I can find it. Somebody posted just this morning, actually, that Saquon is like bottom like 46 of 48 as far as efficiency on running. It is, it's not been good. It's not been great for the Eagles. Each and every week we have something to complain about. I like to blame the coach, but that's just me. Not a fan of him. Oh, man. Who would I rather have? I guess it really comes down to the price. If you're getting all three of these guys for pretty equal price, I think it would be Saquon, Scatabo, Warren, but it all depends what you're getting rid of. I don't know if you're selling Nico right now. I think you're selling Nico at a loss, so he seems kind of more of a hold for me. Rice, you're not getting them out of my hands. Like, I've gotten the death grip on all of my holdings of Rice right now, so it's not going to happen. Hall, White, Monty, Henderson. What are we doing here, folks? Are we dropping him? Like, 10-team leagues, I have dropped him. It's how it is. Between injuries, between bye weeks, I can't afford to hold on to him. But 12-team leagues, I think people are going to have to make some decisions. And I imagine he's going to be hitting a lot of waiver wires this week. Not only with just the fact of his usage, but the Patriots used a practice squad, an undrafted free agent, as a more useful back than Henderson. So that one's rough. But yeah, if you can get any one of those three guys for a decent price, maybe package. I don't even know what kind of value Jennings has right now. That's a hard one, man. Mathiasen, picked up Gadsden in my league, so I'm chilling with the new tight end. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, I was fortunate to have him in a good chunk of my leagues right now, so I'm not having to fight the waiver wire because I'm not paying up. I'm not paying up for Gadsden. I'm willing to drop a little bit of fab, a little sprinkle here and there, but I don't see him being like a 20+% fab guy just because, again, we're going to see kind of those ebbs and flows. I imagine we're going to see those ebbs and flows because of all the options. Personally, I love it. The thought of what Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, did previously with Mark Andrews. Let's see you do it again, And it was during the summer as well. We got a lot of talks that comparisons to him to Darren Waller, which it's hard to look at right now because Darren Waller's coming off an injury, coming off a bad rap career. But back in the day, the dude was elusive. All right, looking at that Dynasty question, what are we debating on selling JT in Dynasty for 2027 first and second, 2028 first and second, and Caleb Johnson. 5-9 with Neighbors, Hampton injured. Have no other starting RBs. QBs are good. Tight ends are good. Tight end premium. Yeah, if you're not winning this year and you can sell them for a haul, I like that. I don't think JT's going to be falling off a cliff. I imagine he can have another elite year next year. Probably going to roll it back with Daniel Jones, unfortunately. The offensive line is so good. They've got a lot of pieces there that really helps that. 2027 and 2028. So it's farther out. So going into 2026, you're not exactly going to have any help on that team from this trade. Maybe Caleb Johnson. Hopefully he gets to turn into something. You get a little return from him. I guess the big thing is how good is this team? Could you see them just completely falling apart by 2028, maybe even 2027, and that those picks are in the top half? Because that's the big thing with me is there's always question marks with first. So I don't hate it. 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and Caleb Johnson for JT. I think that going into the summer, you're going to get people that are trying to trade away Jonathan Taylor. Just, this is the time. We got to get out from him. He's 26 years old. He'll be 27 next season. So it's probably the window if you're not using him to win this year. Go ahead and get out. So I don't mind that at all, especially if you have Neighbors in Hampton. So you're going to have a nice linchpin there from Hampton. Hopefully picking up some more pieces with these picks as well. Tight end's good. Quarterback's good. Yeah, I do it. If you're not competing this year, go for it. Smitty, the guy needs wide receivers. I was going to offer DK in a package. I like that. DK, he's been involved, but not as much as he should have. I was kind of hype on DK just with the price and the usage. Usage isn't quite there. Tyler Lockett just got cut, so maybe if he goes to the Steelers, maybe that helps out a little bit. Not only have they played together, but just pulling some of the attention away and not having to utilize. I don't even want to get into this. The freaking tight ends, folks, last Thursday. Are you kidding me? We had 5 touchdowns in that game go to tight ends. 4 different tight ends. And who played them? Nobody's playing Washington. I mean, Noah Fant was a shot in the dark on DFS. Johnny Smith has been, incredibly frustrating. And Pat Freiermuth, great overall tight end. He can block, he can catch. Clearly, he can get some yak, but we're not starting this guy. What are they thinking, dropping off that many points to the tight end? Yeah, Steelers, they need a little help as they're sitting top of the AFC right now. Absolutely wild. But yeah, if you can move DK and a little something over there, I don't mind that at all. I have 8 first rounders already from trading CD and Bryce Young and old scrubs. Not sure if JT keeps this up 10 years to come. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like I said, he's going into year 27. I'm sure he could still have another top 12 season, maybe even 2, but the chances of that are a lot less. So I totally like what you're freaking already have 8 first rounders. You're going to smack on 2 more first and 2 seconds. You can fill that hole with what you have already. So yeah, go get your haul, go get that figured out. And Caleb Johnson, it was the second pick that the Steelers took. I believe it was 3rd round, but still it was their second pick they had in the draft. So he should get used more. Right now, it seems like more of an idea that he's just a little dumb, doesn't know all the rules. He's making a little bunch of brain farts, but these guys grow, they change, and I liked his athletic profile coming into the draft. So yeah, I like that, man. Mathiasen, I already dropped Carter and Bam Knight, probably dropping Chubb. This week, it's harder for me to completely drop a lot of these players. It's all situational, of course, because of just the bipocalypse, the injuries. But those guys they're not players I want in my starting roster. I guess that's where I'm looking at that. I've seen the game, and I don't see how he doesn't break all of Antonio Gates' records. I hope so. I hope so. the amount of energy that I like that comes to you when you think about this Chargers offense and what they have between Hampton, between Ladd, Trey Harris. We're not getting a lot of love on him right now because they do have 3 functional wide receivers, but Trey Harris was a second-round pick out of Ole Miss. The guy's showing signs already, so I think going into next year he should have a strong showing. And then, yeah, we got new Antonio Gates there. Absolutely freaking love that. Of course, we want to make that comparison. It looks too much fun. Looking at Nino, what's happening? Trade CMC, McBride, and Jacoby for Kittles, Judkins, and Jettas. Yeah, I think I'm doing this. CMC is obviously, you know, the best piece in this trade, but Kittle coming back, I don't think you're going to see much of a difference between him and McBride. Kittle might be better. If Kyler comes back to play, McBride's going to go back there to third out of those top 3 tight ends. McBride scored, 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games with Jacoby Brissett. Prior to that, I think it was like 16 or 17 games. He's only scored 3 touchdowns with Kyler Murray in that same amount. It's absolutely wild, the touchdowns disparity you see there. So Jacoby, to me, he's a droppable piece. So if you can swap that, Kittle, Judkins, Justin Jefferson, I know people are a little sour on him right now. He's actually not doing much worse than he was last year. I say worse. He didn't do bad last year, but his metrics are right there. They're right behind where he was last year. So it should only go up from there. I love the trade, man. Go pull it off. 5-9 with JT. That's rough. 5-9, folks, if you're kind of wondering how you could be 5-9, definitely playing against the league median, but having JT and still being able to go there, that's got to be rough. So, yeah, I'd flip him on that dynasty team. Only wide receivers are Diggs, Jacoby, Ellick, and Burden. Woo! Yeah, so you'd be flipping into Justin Jefferson, Diggs, and then you'd have Ellick, Andrew Manor, and Burden. Burden's looking good. His metrics are beating everybody else right now. I just, for some reason, get the targets last week. It's pretty bad. But yeah, Nino, go pull that off. I love it. Josh, what's happening? What do we have here? Rate this 12-man PPR. All right, got to figure out the rating scale we're going to use here. Got Daniel Jones, Judkins, Mason, Rashawn White. And we're going Amon-Ra, JSN, Laporta, Pittman, BTJ, Eagles, DT, and Aubrey. All right, 12-man PPR. State of the league where we're at week 8. I'll give you a nice 8.4. Pretty solid team there. Daniel Jones, he can win you a chip this year. I don't know if he's going to absolutely blow it away and give you these top 3 finishes, but he's doing plenty to give you those top 10, top 12 finishes, and so love that. Judkins, rest of the season, I imagine he's going to continue on his tear. Mason should be picking it up as this offense grows, and you got those two, like Amon-Ra and JSN. I think you can win on the back of those two as well. Pittman's been a great piece, especially having him linked up with Daniel Jones. Brian Thomas Jr. It's a great name to have on your roster, but right now, I don't know what I'm doing with him. Going into the bye week, evidently he's a little banged up, hampered. I haven't really seen too much. And then coming off that international game, so we'll probably have to wait for a little bit more. But yeah, 8.4, 8.6, somewhere in there out of 10. I like it. What should I look to target? I have lots of bench depth with Aaron Jones, Pollard, Downs as well, whichever of those guys I don't start. So yeah, let's pull that back up, see what we're looking at. You do have Aaron Jones. I mean, honestly, I'd probably want to split those the Vikings backs. Maybe still Jordan Mason, just because he is kind of like capped as far as unless he gets a multi-touchdown game, I don't see him finishing in the top 5. Just he doesn't get the pass catching work. This offense still can be limited at times, so maybe if you can get something for like a maybe we flip Brian Thomas Jr. and Jordan Mason, see what you can get back from there. Maybe it's stack on another running back. Your wide receivers are pretty locked in. If you have Amon-Ra and JSN going forward. So yeah, maybe you can flip Mason and BTJ for like a Javonte Williams. I do it. Then you link up Judkins and him, Rashad White. He's going to get you a few more weeks, but we don't know how much longer we're going to have him consistently. So yeah, if you pull off that trade, I like something within that realm. I traded BTJ and Henderson week 2 for Rice and Pacheco. Paid off this week. Yeah, I bet it did. Because Henderson just looks like he's going to be a landmine on rosters. Like I said, as we're going into this bye week, I imagine he's going to get dropped a little bit more. And it's going to be hard not to pick him up. You know, you want rookies. You want to pick these guys up going into the second half of the year. Majority of these players, they blow up in the second half. You know, it takes a little bit to get them started. But, oh, man, I just want to avoid him. It's not that I don't want to talent. I don't believe in it. It's just I don't want to have to be stuck with that decision. I'd rather leave that for one of my league mates there. And BTJ, after back-to-back weeks with 80 yards, we get the dud from last week. And Travis Hunter broke out. Like, what are we getting with that? I was ready to drop Travis Hunter this week. Going into the bye. Nope. He blows up for 100 yards and a score. So now I've got to hold him through the bye and figure out if I'm ever actually going to start him. Because definitely didn't this past week. Awesome. Folks, you got any more questions? Keep loading them up in the chat here. Outside of that, I'll probably just be working through some waiver wire guys, people I'm just checking out, going over some injuries. We do have Jaden Daniels dealing with that hamstring injury, so Superflex, definitely. I'm going to be going after Marcus Mariota. And honestly, he's not a bad fill-in. He's done pretty good, especially with that rushing upside you get from him. So as an easy fill-in for Jaden Daniels, I don't hate it if you're looking at Marcus Mariota. Looking at his matchup this week, what are we doing? Kansas City. They're the 7th toughest quarterbacks as far as points over expected. So not the best matchup, but I still think he can get it done. I still think we can go out there and see a little happy action from him. Bryce Young, high ankle sprain, soft benching, whatever you want to call it. Looks like we're going to get the red rifle coming out here. I don't know if I'm really more excited for those pieces, but I don't think I'm less excited, if that makes sense. Ted McMillan should have maybe just a safer floor with Andy Dalton. I call him the Red Rifle so much, I can't even remember his name sometimes. But yeah, Andy Dalton should give us a decent floor. Xavier Legette, if you can back up, buddy. Look, I love seeing you ride Dollar Bill in the end zone. Love the touchdown dance. It's fun. But I need you to chill out. I need you to chill out. We need to make sure the actual fantasy pieces are getting points, and then you can get yours. But maybe this is all he needed. I was a big proponent of, I don't think he could lead the team. And 2 years ago when he was coming into it, he might be a decent wide receiver too if he has a stud on the team to kind of help bring that stuff away. Look at that. Smitty coming in with some hard asking questions. Dalton or Mariota, full PPR. I think I'm going to lean, like right off the bat, I'm going to go Mariota just for that rushing upside. I don't remember who... Panthers play Buffalo, so both of them have a rough matchup. Yikes. I guess Buffalo's middle of the pack. They're 15th against quarterback, whereas Kansas City against Washington, they're 7th against quarterback. So a little bit easier matchup for the Bills, but can the guy get it done? You know, he's going to have to get it done with his arm. They do have those 2 running backs now. You know, the 1-2 punch. I imagine they're going to really lean on that run game, but probably Mariota is the floor play. Andy Dalton is the ceiling play, as gross as that sounds, just because Mariota he doesn't use Zach Ertz for whatever reason. It's his best pass catcher he has right now with Debo being out and McLaurin, so probably go Marcus Mariota, but Dalton, if you really need some magic, maybe it happens there. Mariota's proven he can catch a ball, so we go full PPR, go Marcus. Hey, it's not wrong, man. The amount of he's caught 1 or 2 of his passes. It's pretty fun when you get to see it happen. He scored a touchdown, I think, on that first one when he was with the Titans. Yeah, go Marcus Mariota. Gives you that triple threat ability. Pass, rushing, and receiving. Would you start No. Wait, hang on. Would you start Dylan Gabriel if Daniels doesn't play? I'm in a 2 QB flex league. If you have to, I get it, but oh man, what else is out there? You know, just with we've got multiple injuries to the quarterback, so maybe you have a chance to pick something up. Like, is Mariota out there for you to pick up? Is Andy Dalton? Because yeah, Dylan Gabriel, they get the Patriots this week. Patriots, you can throw on them a bit, but you cannot run on them. And the best part of Cleveland right now is the run game. Judkins, he's going to have a difficult game. I think he's talented enough where he'll break through. Nice. All right, here you go. Yeah, if you've got Dylan Gabriel, Dalton, or Mariota, I think I'd go Mariota, Dalton, and then Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel, I mean, honestly, he's a lefty, so isn't that a reason enough for us to just... I'm just kidding. All the lefties out there in the chat. Just kidding, folks. But, yeah, Dylan Gabriel, I don't know what ceiling this guy truly has. Jerry Jeudy, mediocre. Like, the most exciting piece we're looking at right now is Harold Fannin. And, like, the guy's still a rookie. He's still limited there, so... let me pull up Dylan Gabriel's numbers. I'm pretty sure he is below... was it 230 for every single game this year? It's been ugly. Yeah, what are we looking at? 116, 221, and 190 yards. He's only thrown 2 touchdowns on the season. Yeah. I'm not really looking to start Dylan Gabriel, even in Superflex. It's really hard. He's closer to like a QB3 for me, unfortunately. But yeah, it's Mariota. I'm excited. I'm having to go pick... I'm going to play him in way too many Dynasty leagues right now. I'm hurting. I had a lot of combos of Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, and I am, I'm struggling. Don't know if I'm going to make it all the way through it. Other injuries, what are we looking at? Justin Fields got injured on Sunday. Yeah, hurt his pride. Hurt his pride a little bit, so it looks like we got the starting nod for Tyrod Taylor. As much as Aaron Glenn, the head coach last week, was yelling at the media, hey, no, we're not going to change the starting quarterback. We're going to keep it. Why would you even ask me that? And then you go and bench him mid-game, and then the next week you announce him as the starter? Come on. I know you're a first-year head coach, but you got to pull back a little bit, buddy. Got to take a little grace there. Michael Penix, we got an ankle bone bruise. He's day-to-day limited. I mean... this guy, you're not really looking at more than a super flex play, and honestly, you don't really look at him unless he's playing at home. This guy's home road splits have been pretty wild. Luckily, he gets a home game this week. He's playing Miami, one of the best matchups he could possibly get. Yeah, at San Francisco, QB 19, week before QB 20, home at Buffalo, QB 12 against Washington at home, Tampa Bay, he was QB 10, so he's not giving you the end-all be-all, the biggest plays, but the Superflex leagues, he might be viable. Sauce Gardner, we don't really care too much for offense here, but he is in concussion protocol. I imagine he misses this week. I also thought that for Marvin Harrison this past week, and he came back. So Sauce Gardner, they do get the matchup against the Bengals. I think it's going to be a really big deal because if Sauce plays... I mean, you're still playing Jamar Chase. You know, I can't sit here and say stay away from him. Him and Joe Flacco have been making it happen. But if Sauce isn't out there, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase should just absolutely tear it up. Jets are going to be 0-8. Let me ask you, folks, when is the Jets getting their first win? Or do they get their first win here? Rolling through the schedule, they got at Cincinnati this week, bye week. Cleveland, probably not. New England, no. Baltimore should win, right? Baltimore's going to come back this week. They got to go on a tear. Then they get Atlanta. Probably not. Miami, I think that one's a chance for them to win there. They get Jacksonville, New Orleans. I think they have an opportunity to win. And then it won't be until Week 18. Week 18 might be their best chance to win. And that's only because they play the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills will probably be sitting people that week. So maybe, just maybe, that's their best shot at winning a game. It's pretty bad. 2 points per sack. Go with Falcons versus Miami. Vikings against Chargers O-line. I don't hate it. But at the same time, the Vikings could dominate for 3.5 quarters against the Chargers. And then, a little garbage time comes back and Herbert just absolutely rocks the ball for 420 yards like he did this past week. So I think the Falcons against Miami is the runaway bet. There's no chance that Miami's pulling away garbage time points taken away. Falcons have been getting after it. Tua is going to be smacking his head against the field so much. Luckily at this point, I don't know how much he feels it anymore, though. Albert, what's happening, buddy? Glad you're here. Appreciate you hanging out with us. As well as everybody else, thank you all for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me, filling up the chat with questions, comments, concerns, all that great stuff. We got 30 more minutes here on the live stream over here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Thanks for listening, folks. What else do we have as far as injuries? We got Darren Waller. Luckily, you don't want to play your tight ends against Atlanta, so that's his matchup this week. It's a pec strain. Usually those tight ends, they do a little bit more blocking, so they want to make sure they keep an eye on that bad boy. So probably out 1 week, maybe 2, but Either way, we found a few tight ends that I think we can slide over to. And how about this one? Kendre Miller, man. So rough. So freaking rough. And of course, he's going against his old head coach there, the DC for the Bears, Dennis Allen, the guy who just absolutely hated him, the guy. Talk crap about him every night before the prayer at dinner. And, he sent no blessings that way to Kendre Miller. But torn ACL, out for the season. Dang, yeah. Kendre Miller will be going into year 4. He'll be going into his contract year next year. Coming out of TCU, I was really excited for him, but Alvin Kamara, he is inevitable. He's probably going to extend it this offseason if we're being honest. So there goes that option there. Matthias, what you got? Falcons D and Cincy's D versus the Jets. I think we want Falcons D. Falcons D is just so much more talented than Cincy's D. Cincy, I think there are a decent play this week. I think you can find some work there, but just as far as just the risk mitigation, I think I take the Falcons for sure. Tua's not beating anybody. Are you kidding me? Dude's crap. Nice. I don't see any other injuries as far as my notes. If anybody's got anything that I forgot, please throw it in the chat. BTJ, he's got the yips. Is that an injury? I don't know. Yeah, I saw word that maybe it's a shoulder injury too, but I don't know about that. Let's talk some quarterbacks here as far as some streamers we can look at. Joe Flacco. Joe Fling It Flacco. We just talked about Sauce Gardner possibly being out of this game. He's probably going to be a streamable quarterback, especially in Superflex, but going forward, I don't think he's going to kill you. Up against Green Bay, QB 14, not too shabby. This past week, QB 6 on the week. He gets the Jets this week, Chicago the week after. Chicago you can throw on, just they're missing a lot of pieces in that secondary. And then a bye week after that, they get Pittsburgh again. New England you can throw on. Baltimore you can throw on. Buffalo you can throw on. Baltimore, oh my God, yeah. It's like the playoffs. He gets Baltimore, Miami, and Arizona. Even if you're not looking to play Joe Flacco, Jamar Chase is going to absolutely feast. We had that huge pivot after week 2, just oh my gosh, Jamar Chase had these juicy matchups, and I'm not going to be able to use him in my fantasy championships. Maybe you are. Maybe you are, because Joe Fling It Flacco is he's out there and he's bringing the fun. Tyrod Taylor, if you're really in a pickle, I think he can be looked at as a possible streaming option this week. Just because it is the Bengals defense, you can get away with something. Again, it's going to be... Okay, Tyrod's only 36. I didn't know how close he was, but 40-year-old quarterback and a 36-year-old quarterback. Folks, what's going on in college? Why can't we get more credible quarterbacks coming into this league? The fact that we're having to lean on these geriatric... come on, fellas. Come on. I'm about to go try out here pretty soon. I'm about to be at that age where I can be throwing the ball for them. It's ridiculous. Coaches, college coaches, get your stuff together. Get it figured out. Quit transferring these kids and make them better. I need more quarterbacks in my league. Last one, Jackson Dart. Do you do it? Do you do it? I stood here, 2 weeks ago, saying, yikes, Jackson Dart's next 3 weeks are absolutely rush. He's got his Philly sandwich with that Denver meat right there in the middle. Last 2 weeks, he's QB3. Yeah, definitely got it done with his arm last week. Only 11 yards rushing, still pulled it in a touchdown through the ground. But 283 yards, it's pretty ugly. It's pretty ugly, especially when you have 2 of your tight ends finishing in the top 8. We had Theo Johnson with that little hook and ladder play that he took to the end. Daniel Bellinger with a busted coverage and a few other good passes. I want a wide receiver on this team to really feel confident. They're also playing in Philly. They might get boat raced. They might absolutely get destroyed in this one. So a little hesitant playing him, but at the same time, are you really going to walk away? Back-to-back QB3 finishes. It's hard to look away from that one. If anything, you hold him till the week after, just like Jackson Dart. Going into next year, is he the Drake May? Is he the one that we're looking at as all right, who's that sophomore quarterback that's going to take the step forward when he gets Malik Neighbors? He has the rushing ability. After he plays Philly, he gets San Francisco, Chicago, and Green Bay. Detroit as well, you can kind of toss the rock on a bit. I don't know. He's a scary play. He's definitely a scary play, but if you need some volatility, if you need a guy who can really bust it out, I think that might be the direction you go. Tight ends. Yep, let's talk about the tight ends. I mean, obviously, Rondé Gadsden the second. Folks, if you didn't know who he was coming into this week, you do now. He's going to be adding a lot of leagues. I'm not busting the bank for him, but I want to add him. Like, this is the type of streaming tight end you want. You want guys with the yak ability. You want them athletic. You want the ones that can bust down the big plays. Like Noah Fant's fine. These other guys, they're fine, but do they give you the clear upside that somebody like Gadsden did? Over the last couple of weeks, Gadsden's been hugely involved. Last week I was a little skeptical just because we didn't have QJ in it, but with QJ back, he still had 9 targets, 7 receptions, 164 yards and a touchdown. Let's go. Ooh, we got the Neo Wolf coming in here in the chat. What do you got for us? Do I start Judkins this week? Do you sit Judkins? Let me see that roster if you're able to pull off a sit. Like, we got 8 buys. We got a lot of injuries. I get the concern as far as, like, going up against the Patriots defense, but the guy's immensely talented. Like, he breaks off runs left and right. He's only had one disappointing week, since week 3 when he took over as the starter. 40% of snaps, he finishes the RB 48. 12 for 36. It was also a divisional game. They were playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh knows how to play against Cleveland. And it was in Pittsburgh. Like, Cleveland hasn't won in Pittsburgh, I think, since like 02 or something like that. It's been absolutely wild. This past week, though, 25 attempts, scored 3 times. The week before that, dud, 23 attempts, 21 attempts, 18 attempts. I'm putting, like, Quinch on. I guess who would you be subbing him in for is the big question. And then, can you live with yourself if he goes off for, 15, 20 points on your bench? That would be the rough part. Dyson coming back in here. Darnold's on a bye. Just roll with Daniel Jones again versus Titans. I'm worried JT goes for 5 touchdowns. I'm only worried if I'm playing against him, but yeah, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. Freaking JT. 3 games already with 3 touchdowns. I think he's the first Colt to do that in history. Edgerrin James, I think he tied him with being able to do it. Jonathan Taylor's also about to take over the franchise record for the Colts as far as most rushing touchdowns. It's incredible. Absolutely love it. It's great being a Colts fan right now. I've been bitter. I've been negative. I've been talking crap on my boys, hoping that we could clear house. And right now, I'm just trying to live in the happiness of that our team's above 500, if we're being honest. Neil Wolf's coming back in here. This is my flex. It's either Olave, Judd, or Judkins. Ooh, my receivers are Collins and London, and my RBs are solid Bijan. Oh, damn. All right. Nice. Okay, now I see how you're sitting Judkins possibly. 10-team league, or you crush the draft? That's a sweet-looking team there with that Bijan Swift action. Do you play Judkins and sit Collins over Olave? It's rich. It's a little rich comment. I don't know if I want to get that crazy, but Olave finally, I've thrown out the stat. He's never broken 20 points, fantasy points in his career, ever. Can't say it anymore. Last week, 5 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Play Tampa Bay this week. You can throw on them. Let me check out. What are we looking at for Nico's matchup this week? Wow. Looking at my rankings. It's early. It's my Tuesday rankings. I actually have Olave ranked above Nico Collins. I've got Nico Collins at 15. I've got Olave at 9. So maybe Collins is the sit. Maybe you're playing Bijan Swift and Judkins in the flex, and then your wide receivers are Olave and London. Nico's immensely talented. He could bust off at any play. He could completely, break the scoring, but that team's broken. The offensive line, CJ Stroud is getting dry humped up and down the field right now. He doesn't have a chance to get anything going. This offense, it's just the play calling's putrid. He was 23 for 49, 229 and a touchdown and a pick. Playing San Francisco, that defense continues to play well. Robert Saleh is showing why he got the coaching nod just a few years ago. So I might sit Nico Collins. According to my rankings, that's who I'd be sitting right now. Again, Judkins does have a rough matchup, but Collins. How many weeks have you actually been happy with Collins? Let me pull that up here. I just had it. Wide receiver 58, 17, 27, 5, 29, and 69. Yeah, I don't think Nico deserves to be an auto start right now. Until he proves that he can get that figured out. I don't know. He also exited Monday's game with a concussion, so he might not even play. coming into this week. They play on Saturday, I believe, or I mean Sunday at 1. Yeah, maybe you didn't have to make the decision. Maybe it's made for you. It might be pretty good. Oh boy, really opening up this can? Really gonna make me cry? It's all right. It's all right. We're not recording this or anything. It's fine. Mike McDonald. He must hate Ken Walker not giving him a goal line carry on his birthday. It's Jover for Ken Walker. Yeah, it might be. It might. How is this team so good? This team is performing so well. And yet they just want nothing to do with Ken Walker. I have no idea. It's hurting, especially going into the bye week. Like, there's probably some people that are going to want to drop him. Ken Walker has not been as advertised, as promised. I was a big Ken Walker. It kills me too, because I've always faded or just been indifferent on Walker. I've never been like going after him. This year I was heavy, like, give it to me, let's make it happen. What did he finish? He's 17 attempts, 66 yards. Week before that, 10 attempts, 19 attempts, 16 attempts, 13, 10. He's got 3 touchdowns on the season. He should have like 10. He should have at least 8. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Mike McDonald, your team was doing so good. I'm like, oh god, it's frustrating as hell. But yeah, Mike might not be it. Ken Walker. But like, do you want to play Charbonnet? Because I don't want to play Charbonnet. Like, each week I want to pick Walker over Charbonnet just for the upside. I get that Charbonnet has the goal line looks, but like, if he doesn't score, what are you really getting? I mean, outside of this past week, he did look decent. 12 for 49, he scored 2 touchdowns, but you take out the touchdowns, he's 12 for 24, 9 for 36, 12 for 39, 15 for 10, 12 for 47. Then again, he does have 5 touchdowns. So that's kind of what it's saving him right now. But like, without the touchdowns, they're not sticky stat. You can't bank on that. It's some booty, folks. It's some booty. It's not going to be long before I'll be a head coach here, putting in the right players. No. Georgie, how's it going? 2.5 PPR. What move should I make? Rosters, Caleb Williams. We got Justin Jefferson, London, Javonte. Love that. Then we're going into Chase Brown. We've got a little Bill action there. Yeah, I know. So much fun. What else do we have there? We've got Fannin. We've got Terry, Pearsall. Help me, brother. Who would you rather have? God. I'm not the person to ask. Like I said, I'm a Ken Walker hopeful. Ken Walker has so much more upside than Bill. I think I would say Ken Walker. Even if you're not starting either one of the guys, like, if Charbonnet goes down, Ken Walker is going to be a locked-in top 12 running back. His only issue right now is that he's splitting the work. JCM, like, he's always going to be splitting the work. He won't ever be the bell cow for that team. It's just not what he's built. It's not where his talent profile is. They have multiple backs. So in a vacuum, I'd rather have Walker. Like, just because right now both those guys aren't really starts, but for the reason you would hold them, Walker would be the guy that would propel into the bigger role. Chase Brown, they've got a great schedule going forward. He had 100 yards. Maybe you can flip him for something, so it kind of depends. But like, Chase Brown, I'd be willing to move. JCM, I'd be willing to move. Fannin, where's your tight end? I guess you're holding on to Fannin. Terry, Pearsall. I'm being a hopeless romantic here over Pearsall. I feel like once he comes back, he should be good. He was averaging, 100-something yards a game in the games that he has played this year. He was looking pretty good, so I really like that, especially when Brock Purdy comes back, Kittle being back, offense being healthier. Maybe the defense can give up some more points, but what do we move? What do we move? What are your wide receivers again? Jefferson and London. Like, so you've got a good, like, starting lineup there, at least like your big guys. So maybe you try and flip JCM, and it's a hard part. It's hard for you to flip Terry or Pearsall with neither one of them playing. I'm trying to think of a wide receiver that should be coming back soon. What are we looking at here? Somewhere in the realm of Dubilo and Ted McMillan. You know, do you see if maybe you can flip just the chance of Pearsall coming back? Maybe Pearsall on Chase Brown for Ted McMillan. Jordan Addison. No Mathiasen, he'd be right there behind me if you can go get him. Oh no, you got Jefferson. Never mind. Don't want to do that. Yikes. I'd flip Terry for Debo if I could. Just long staying power. You might have that. George Pickens, you're probably not gonna be able to get. I don't know. It looks like for you to be able to make a trade, pull something off. Yeah, okay, right here. My problem is no one wants Terry, Ricky, Brown, JCM without Jefferson or London. Yeah, you can't get rid of Justin Jefferson or London. I would hold on to those two pieces. I think you're going to have to clean this team up via the waiver wire right now. Just not having the pieces to, like, give it a couple more weeks. Some of these players will come back, and then maybe you get the movability of them. But, yeah, I can completely understand how nobody wants to buy any of those pieces. And if you were to package Jefferson and London, I feel like it's just going to be a lateral move. Like, your wide receivers are really good. Javonte should be able to hold that together for you with patching it up with Chase Brown, JCM. Start hitting some of the waiver wires, picking up some of these. Monungai is somebody I think that needs to be picked up and owned at this point. Rashard Smith, Isaiah Davis. Breece Hall may or may not be injured. We saw him come out of the game a little bit. He's also on the trade block. So if that happens, you could really see it. I knew it was coming. Trade JJ for Addison and an RB, and if you need to throw in Bill, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Yeah, going to see what the Addison owner has as far as a running back. But yeah, tearing down Jefferson to Addison, we just kind of made the reference there. Addison's outscored Jefferson in 6 of the last 11 games they've played together, and I'm trying to get rid of Bill. Not that I don't think he's a valuable piece, but he's not a piece that I want with the issues you're having. I don't know. Cam Scatterwell might be a little expensive. I don't know if you could get to him. But yeah, maybe Scatterbo and Addison. I guess it depends with who the Addison running backs have. But yeah, I don't hate it. I knew he'd chime in. I knew he'd freaking pop in with that, man. What would you have, Bill or Walker? We did that one. My problem is no one wants 10. We did that one. Come on, Brian, get it together. Act like it's not your first stream. Should I play Schultz, Gadsden over Fannin going forward? I can't believe you have Schultz. That's bold. That's bold there, Georgie. Trying to play in Schultz. Like, he decent game this past week, but I've wanted nothing to do with this Texans offense at all. They do get Denver this week. Pull up Schultz's numbers. I don't even remember what he has put up. Tight end 7, 17, 20. Yeah, I'm not interested in it. It's going to be, I dropped Schultz. Do you have all three of these players? I guess that's my question. If you have all three, I just drop Schultz. If you have Schultz and Gadsden, or Schultz and Fannin, I want to own Gadsden and Fannin. These are the guys I want. They have the upside. Fannin looks like he could be competing for the #1 target on that offense. Gadsden, like I've said, he's got the yak ability, that amazing, just that run after the catch is so good. So it's probably going to be bouncing back and forth just between the matchups. Chargers get the Thursday night game. Vikings aren't exactly the easiest matchup for tight end, but it's definitely not an easy matchup for the wide receivers. I say that coming off of the A.J. Brown game where him and Devonta Smith both blew up. But when you look at the bigger picture, Vikings aren't letting up a lot of points to the wide receivers. So Gadsden might be getting more involved in this game just because of the game script. And then Fannin, I don't remember. I was just talking about the Browns. I don't remember who they play. The Patriots. That's right? Where are they at? Son of a bitch. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong week, Brian. That might be why. Yeah, they play the Patriots. Look, if my co-host Brendan were here, he'd tell you when in doubt, Thursday out. He is not a fan of playing Thursday players when you can pivot. So if you went by that logic, I would play Fannin. You can throw in the Patriots. I like Fannin this week. I like Gadsden too. Let me check my rankings. I don't even know if that'll make a difference. I might, I've got Gadsden higher. I've got Gadsden at 8 right now. I've got Fannin at 12. So it's that logical to go Gadsden, but I like those second two as far as owning and holding on to them. Trade Bill for Walker straight up. I would. I know. I get it. Walker's been bad. It hasn't been pretty, but again, if these guys are bench players and they're not, you have to start them each and every week. Walker has so much more upside than Bill does, just as far as Charbonnet getting hurt. And, yeah. But with Walker's game being so bad, I wonder if you can get something else. Not a whole lot something else. You know, maybe you get a defense and Walker, you trade him for Bill. I don't know. Just extracting as much value as you possibly could. No, they're on waivers. I only have Fannin. Yeah, I wouldn't dump a lot for Gadsden, especially if you're dropping Fannin to get Gadsden. But I'm okay with either one of those this week. Schultz is a guy I don't really like playing as much. Mathiasen come back in here. Offered weeks ago Keenan Allen, JSN, and Josh Jacobs for QJ or JT and QJ. Guy said I don't want Allen and tried to trade Rice from me. Get out of here, buddy. What's he thinking? Yeah, I bet he's kicking himself right now because, I mean, as great as JT is, like Josh Jacobs is an absolutely stud RB1 that you're having. JSN is the wide receiver 1 so far this year. And Keenan Allen, he's going to have his ebbs and flows, his highs and lows. Maybe he doesn't score a touchdown every week and that kind of hurts him. But there's a connection with him and Herbert. There has been for the years that they've played together before, and there is still now. I think Keenan Allen continues to give us good high, or not high-end running back 2, but high-end flex numbers within that running back 2 realm. Gadsden will get 2 touchdowns for the Vikings. My Vikings trust. I mean, if you ask him, it's going to be Addison scoring 2 touchdowns on one side, Gadsden scoring on the other, and then Odunze is going to run from off the field just to score a touchdown again. Man, that was our guy. That was our guy last season, man. George, I also got Purdy, and I can't decide if I should play Caleb or him going forward. Caleb has a great schedule, but he has burned me. He hurt you this past week, but a lot of that was game script. Like when you see both the running backs, Swift and Monungai both finished as top 12 options this week, so that it's going to happen. You know, you're going to see those games, and with Ben Johnson calling plays, he's going to be one that's going to want to lean on the run. He's going to want to establish that. Sometimes that just happens. Right now, looking at my rankings, I got Caleb Williams at 10 this week. Who was the other name? Purdy. I got Purdy at 22, but that's purely because I don't know if he's starting yet. I don't know if it's going to be him or Mac Jones. They get a rough game against Houston this week, whereas Caleb Williams, he plays Baltimore. Yeah, give me Caleb Williams, man. That game should be pretty good. And I know we're not playing Purdy, but I had to make a Purdy joke there. Yeah, I like Caleb Williams this week. Give me a bounce back against the Ravens. Ravens been awful weeks. They're game planning, but they're 1-5. They did come out with some fire, and that defense sucks. Going forward, Caleb Williams gets Baltimore, Cincinnati, and then the Giants the next 3 weeks. Yeah, I definitely like him at least the next 2 weeks for sure. So I lean that way. That also gives you some time to Purdy get it back up to speed. Gadsden is a must start and can't stress this enough. Dude, I'm right there with you, but like it's the back-to-back games, you know? You get back-to-back and you're like, all right, I'm sold, you know? He's heating up. Now I want him when he's on fire. And all of a sudden it's just suspect. Kamani Vidal didn't have back-to-back, but great in week 6. Everybody was ready to start him in week 7, and look what happened. But Gadsden, again, it's the talent. It's the athleticism there that you're buying into that fully. George, rest of my bench is Shakir, Golden, Bourne, and Bam Knight. Shakir, I like him enough in PPR, but he's like a low-end wide receiver 3 for me. Bam Knight, if Kyler comes back, do you really want him? Golden, I think there's upside, but I don't know if and when we get a consistent breakout from him. And then Kendrick Bourne, does he fall back once, just like fall back in the pecking order as we get, Juwan Jennings played a little bit more. He looked healthier this week. Ricky Pearsall should be there. George Kittle will be involved this next game. And then also Brock Purdy's coming back. Kendrick Bourne's got that connection with Mac Jones. So, yeah, we need to patch some holes. But that's what we're doing here. We're walking the wire, checking out the waiver, seeing what we can do there. Not opposed to moving Jefferson purely because of Addison and McCarthy. Yeah, no, I totally get that. Odunze, I had so much faith as a league winner last year. Don't remind me. Hey, the process was there. I don't fault you at all. We were getting him for pennies on the dollar because he was on the waiver wire a lot of places. But 2, like, Oh man, yeah. No, I was bummed about Odunze. I like him going forward this year though. I know it's been kind of a back-to-back stinkers, but I mean, pass interference penalty, a dropped end zone catch. He also has one of the most inaccurate passes thrown to him over the last 4 weeks. That's going to regress. That's going to move back into the higher ability. So moving forward, I'm pretty excited about Rome Odunze. He's going to be a top play for me, especially this week against Baltimore and next week against Cincinnati. But yeah, dude, that was rough. You and I every single week last year, the last like 5-6 weeks, go get Odunze. Didn't work. Yeah, that's kind of been the point for Gadsden that I've been going with is, yeah, they have 3 other wide receivers that we're trying to figure out who to pick, and then there's Gadsden as well. Then again, I have been kind of off on QJ, at least until Joe Alt gets back. I mean, you look at the numbers, Justin Herbert just doesn't have enough time to let QJ get these down-breaking routes, to really let these plays develop for him to get down the field. He's got to throw the ball out faster. It's usually going to be your tight end. It's going to be your Keenan Allen. It's going to be your Lad McConkey. So if anything, Gadsden kind of plugs in there as a third target. But on this high-flying of an offense, this good of a quarterback, I think it's worth the risk. Just as far as like your other tight ends, like, would you rather play Gadsden or Mason Taylor? I mean, I know Mason Taylor might go back to the well this week as far as a streamer just because Tyrod Taylor's the starter, but I think a big reason on that is going to be Garrett Wilson if he plays or not. But like Gadsden or Evan Ingram, Gadsden or Mark Andrews, Gadsden or Hunter Henry, I'm going to play him over all those guys. I haven't ranked over all those guys, so I get it. It's rough. It's hard to see the true placement for him to be a top 2 target in the offense, but he can bust one off, and that's all you need to do. I gotta say, quit saying bust one off. It just sounds doesn't sound great. Would you trade Kyron and Sutton for Scatabo and Olave? Yeah, I would. Kyron continually is not being used in the passing game. We just don't get enough of that happening. He is on a bye week this week. Also, Blake Corum has come in there from time to time to spell him, especially on the end zone. That's not cool. Don't cock block me there on the end zone. That's not what I want to happen. Sutton, Bo Nix has not been playing well. This deep ball is one of the worst in the league this year. Scatabo, he's got swagger. You know, he gets swagger points. And Olave finally broke 20 points. Finally got there. Finally got a double touchdown game. I'd love to see him get traded up there to the Giants. I know we had a little bit of rumors of that happening. Giants kind of came out and said they're not going to spend big money for a trade, but Olave, my only concern with Olave is at what point does Tyler Shuck come out? Tyler Shuck, they spent a high-end second-round pick on the quarterback, fully guaranteed contract, and they're going to be in a quarterback conversation next year. Top 5 pick. Why would you spend that capital in the second round if you're not even going to see what you have with now the assumption you're going to take a first-round quarterback? If anything, put him out there and display so you can trade him away. So that would be my biggest concern, to Shuck come out there and absolutely just decimate Olave. But as far as what you're looking at there, yeah, I like the trade. They said that last week and Gadsden dropped 100. Yeah, I was part of that. No, they don't listen to me and go ahead and start Mike Evans this week and get another 0. Hey man, I'll see you on the Sunday live stream and we can gang up on him again. That was a good time. Thoughts on Nico Collins? Would you trade him for Pickens? Yeah, I would, 100%. I know Pickens is now the number 2 behind CD Lamb, but that might only do him better. And sure, he may not see 8 targets a game, but he gets the money targets. He gets the deep balls. He gets the touchdown looks. I'd 100% do this. We just talked about how Nico Collins has not paid dividends this year. I don't think he will. The offense is atrocious. The offensive line is... yeah, like CJ Stroud and Joe Burrow are on the trajectory to be Andrew Luck. Not the skilled, but just beat the crap out of week in and week out and just wants to quit because they're tired of being hurt. Folks, I'm about out of here. We just got a couple minutes left, so I'm going to clean up the chat. Last few things throw them in there. We'll go lightning style. George, my league is 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 1 flex. So if I have London and Jefferson, then Javonte and Chase Brown, who do I flex this week between Terry, Ricky, and Bill? At this point, it's looking like it's Bill. Practice reports, we need to wait till they, say all 3 of these guys are healthy. It's Ricky, Bill, Terry. If Ricky, Ricky, Bill, Terry is how I'm looking at it, depending on if they're ready and good to play. Also, no, it hasn't looked great. But what are your thoughts on Kamara rest of the season? Would you feel comfortable with him as your RB2? Yes. I guess with the state of running backs the way they are, the injuries that have been hitting, comfortable enough. But I want to make sure my bench is loaded with running backs. I want to absolutely fill it with backup running backs. Like at this point, as far as like wide receivers, unless you're starting some of these guys, like I don't necessarily want Troy Franklin on my team. I don't want Keon Coleman on my team. AU Manor, I don't want on my team. Like, unless you're playing them actively this week, you're looking for a streamer, I don't want these guys. I mean, I'm getting a little deep here with, like, the Rashad Batemans, the Hollywood Browns. Honestly, Jerry Judy's on that cusp for me. Terry McLaurin, like, these aren't players I just want to let sit on my bench unless I need them to plug them in. This is the time of year, like, it sounds crazy, but my toilet time, I sit down and I start essentially setting my lineup for all future weeks to kind of see what I'm gauging at. And if I don't see a week where I really need to play these wide receivers, I'm pounding those running backs. Give me the Jerome Fords, the Abdullahs, the Algiers, the Gainwells, the Spears, all of these guys that are one injury away from jettisoning your lineup, and that's where you want to make it. So if you have to make it with Kamara's your RB2, because like I don't know what his trade value truly is. I don't know what you're getting out of that. So you got to do what you got to do with it. Any Ellen else you target with Nico? Zach's asking. I guess if you're going straight, just wide receiver for Nico. Oh man, who could you get? Because like he's still a household name. You could probably get a little bit for him. Oh man, would you go Devon like Michael Pittman? At this point, I might take Zay Flowers. I know it's not been pretty for Zay Flowers, but this Baltimore team, they have to come out there and win. Their defense is atrocious. They're going to have to score a lot of points. I really like him to finish a lot stronger than he has. Even though he's never been a touchdown guy, I'm kind of buying into Zay Flowers right now. So maybe that's a pivot option. And just on name power alone, you might be able to get Zay Flowers and a little something. So maybe a position like that. Nico Collins for Roma Dunze coming off 2 bad weeks. Maybe you can flop him there. AJ Brown, yeah, that window's closed. You can't get him. Xavier Worthy, Devonta Smith. I think that's part of the point where I don't know if I want to go there. George, subscribe, man. I'll try and send the Bill Walker trade. We'll be back live. Yeah, love it. Love it. Everybody else, first time here, like, subscribe, check it out here all over the Fantasy Football Advice Network. If you're looking for me and more of my stuff, I've got my own channel over there. It's Too Much Fantasy Football. Come check it out. I do start sits. We do some betting stuff over there too. Lots of fun. Usually the unhinged fun happens over there. You're looking for a little bit more wild stuff. But again, like, subscribe here. Follow us everywhere. Appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you for being here. Of course, it's been great. I got to get out of here. They're flashing lights at me. But I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for listening. And not doing anything Sunday morning. We got the live show here. Q&A. It'll be me. Probably see Matthias in as well. A few of the other guys. We appreciate